Hi, welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion, and I'm your host, the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, and it contains the book of Zion, which is a book of prophecy from the Israel. So, as I told you last time, we're going to start with Isaiah 46, 9 and 10, which is Zion 1, 2, and 3. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. This is the second verse, and it reminds us to look into the past. It tells us that the Grey left us a written record of what would happen after they left. By predicting events before they happened, the Grey again prove their power and their identity. They want us to have an undeniable proof of their intent and their authority. This verse, this verifiable proof, a 3,000-year-old record of future events, set up a set of circumstances that the Grey and their future priests can use to establish the truth. Our society has strayed so far from the truth in regards to God that only truly phenomenal evidence will be able to disprove the false beliefs of our age. A prophetic written record qualifies as such a proof. Isaiah 44:7, Zion 1:4. And who as I shall call and declare it, and set it in order for me, since I have appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming, and shall come, let them show unto them. This next verse is a challenge to anyone who would dispute the Grey's identity as God. It also tells us two important things about the prophecy. First, it tells us that someone has to reorder the text. It has to be someone chosen by God. Who shall set it in order for me? The second point is that the Grey are reclaiming Israel, the ancient people. This challenge is part of the great plan. Let anyone who dares try to disprove the verifiable fact of prophecy, a record written of things not yet done. Amos 8:11 is Zion 1:5. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of the hearing of the word of the Lord. Amos, in the next verse, warns us that God has chosen to withdraw from humanity. Of course, not by choice. But at the time Amos wrote this passage, the gods still flew in our skies. Amos himself heard the voice of God. He is telling us what is about to happen to the human race at his time, predicting the lack of God contact that has led to our mythical beliefs in unrealistic, all-power, false gods. The Grey foresaw our lack of contact with God as a matter of fact by Amos, the prophet of Israel. Isaiah 63:4 is Zion 1:6. For the day of the vengeance is in my heart, and the year of the redeemed is come. This next passage in Isaiah tells us that when the separation of God and man comes to an end, that it hints at what the end will be like. It is a day of vengeance and a year of redemption. The returning of God will be a time of judgment, vengeance for all the wrong done by the people who take the part of the damned, and redemption for all of those who suffer at the hands of those damned. And all of it is to take place in a single year, the main event taking place in a single day. Isaiah 48:3 is Zion 1:7. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. I showed them, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. This next verse, Isaiah 48:3, it reestablishes the fact of this first chapter as a testament to the truth of the grave. The ancient grave predicted the events of our history, leaving us a proof needed at the end to end all arguments by the foolish. The Grey are saying, we have done this already. Here is the proof. We are God. We wrote your history before it happened. Therefore, we are God. The last verse in the chapter is Daniel 12:4, and this is Zion 1:8. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. The last chapter in the verse, in chapter 1, instructs Daniel to seal the prophecy. He informs us that no one is able to understand it until the proper time. It ends the prophetic text, saying, Daniel, it is done. From now on, this proof of authority is set. Now, this doesn't mean that the Grey didn't speak to other prophets. They did speak to others, but no other scenario would play out. It is so. If the prophet claims anything else, it's a false prophecy. All prophets that agree with God were sent by God. And these are people like Nostradamus, Einstein, Jean. But these other prophets that came along, who claim the same God and the same authority, but they offer a different outcome. These are false prophets. By sealing the prophecy of Isaiah, Daniel drew a line in the sand, so to speak, saying, this is what the God of Israel, the Most High God, will do. You won't understand it until the end, but this is what will be. This is, of course, bad news for both the Christians and the Muslims, who have their own Abrahamic-based prophecies. The prophets of these two modern religions were no doubt visited by, as they claim, and they were given prophecies. They just weren't giving true prophecies. You see, the Greys created both Christianity and Islam. However, their mutual purpose was to create the society that was capable of fulfilling the true prophecy of Israel. By creating such a society, the Grey gave us proof of their authority over the human race. They truly created for them their own use, the opposing religions. The manipulation of events and people throughout our history is irrefutable evidence of the authority of the Grey. When the Grey arrive in our skies, we will know that they truly are the descendants of the ancient gods. Their prophetic testament and the historical accuracy of it will prove the Grey are God. So into dissertation. This is the actual prophecy of the Book of Zion. Now, I'm not going to read the chapter and verse while I do this last part, because you've already heard where they are in the Bible, and you can go back in the video and check it out for yourself. This is going to give you the entire passage as it was intended to read, and it goes like this. Book of Zion, chapter 1, by the authority of. This is the decree of the watchers, and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. And who as I shall call and declare it, and set it in order for me, since I have appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. I showed them, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So ends chapter 1 of the Book of Zion, chapter 3 of the Potsnapper's Bible. I will see you next time.